Welcome everybody back to another Boldcast reaction. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
And this is Arcane, episode 7 of season 1. Vi has been taken by who we presume to be EKKO.
Mm-hmm.
Jynx is flying off the handle once again. Silco's threatening Marcus. Jace is not quite on top of shit like he should be.
Yeah, he's making some big moves.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's thinking about what any of them can actually mean or cause in the long term.
Yeah, I think it was he made a short-sighted call that's gonna result in a lot of damage, and that we know ultimately isn't going to matter. Like, because the whole point is like, oh, we need to search everybody who comes across the bridge. But you know, now especially now that it's in EKKO's hands, EKKO doesn't need to go across the bridge. He's got a hoverboard and shit. He's got tunnels or something. He's got access. He can get anywhere he needs to be. So yeah, it's not, things aren't looking great, but we'll see how things turn out this episode. Mm-hmm. Leave a like and subscribe. I will be shaving my head at 100,000 subscribers once we get that on this channel, so make sure you subscribe for that.
Or unsubscribe.
Or unsubscribe if you don't want to see me bald. Hope you enjoy most of all. Check out Patreon to get 2 weeks ahead of Uncut, 1 week ahead of edited reactions. Let's go. Is this like a commercial for them?
It's their OP.
I knew it was a mistake trusting you.
You've been a real picnic yourself.
I'm not the one who walked us into not one, but 2 of Silco's traps.
This isn't Silco. It's someone else.
How do you know?
How do you know anything? You didn't even know people were suffering.
What was that glowing stone? That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Bye! Bye!
Oh. That's pretty rough.
Not really. They're not the bad guys.
I know, but for her, she has no idea.
It's Batman.
You look good for a dead girl.
Whoa.
This is the problem with figuring stuff out too early. You don't get any good reveals.
It's me, Vi. Same person who used to take you down to the junk heap and hose you down when you got covered in grease.
That was a long time ago. People change.
Yeah, I'm getting that.
Are you working for Silco?
Fuck you.
I thought you were dead.
So you just come out swinging?
Gee, I wonder who I learned that from.
Oh, well, you should have learned more. You still punch like a little boy.
And you blocked your face.
I remember when you wouldn't stand up to me. Just you, little man.
How long have you had those off?
How long have you been whining?
That's really nice.
It's Hextech. That
Gonna-
may be difficult to arrange.
Imagine if he brought it down here. How terrible that would be.
Every combination. Nature has made us intolerant to change, but fortunately, we have the capacity to change our
Oh
nature.
boy.
And this is Shimmer.
A variant that should provide everything one needs to survive a violent transition.
Will it work on plants?
I must warn you, if you take this path, they will despise you. Love and legacy are the sacrifices we make for progress. It's why I parted ways with Heimerdinger.
Understand?
Perhaps.
What are you doing? This is crazy, like...
Some pull downs.
Hammer work is such a delicate art.
How'd you find me?
You're the de facto head of the council.
I bet he's making that giant hammer thing that he uses.
Don't
something.
mind me.
This border shutdown has people agitated.
They should be. Marcus brought this to me. It's explosive. I tried taking it apart and it nearly killed me. Whoever built it knows exactly what they're doing. This and Shimmer.
Yeah, she knows
It's hard to
exactly what
believe
she's
they're
doing
capable of.
at all times.
Is that what's really bothering you?
He was my mentor, Mel. And I betrayed him.
Yeah.
Everything you said about him was true. Heimerdinger will understand eventually. It's your time now, Jace. You can bring Hextech to the masses just like you've always dreamed.
First, I have to save Victor.
Where is he?
I don't know. He disappeared. He does that stuff. No sign of Caitlin either.
The Kiraman girl?
It's just... never mind.
Hey.
She released someone from prison. I don't know who.
Council, but they'll soon need their leader.
Where are you going?
I need to find Jinx.
Sir,
What?
I have more in common with cave lice than Jinx. But let's just say I didn't always see eye to eye with my old man.
And
She'll come to you when she's ready.
Well, look at that thing. Whoa.
I didn't lose her. They took her. She was there for me. Why would I remember her name?
What the hell is that thing?
Freaky. And she's just stapling a wound closed with her pants, like, still attached to it.
Is that a real tree?
Pretty cool, huh? When I first saw it, I knew this was the place. If a single seed can make it down here, so could we.
It's so nice.
Powder's gone by. All that's left is Jinx, and she belongs to
You're
Sylvie.
wrong. She's still in there. I can reach her.
You can't.
I think she can.
Oh, my sister.
Whoa.
This is everyone we've lost. The price of our freedom. Your sister works for him not because she has to, but because she wants to. I'm sorry, but that's who she is now.
I think she was just clinging on to whoever was there.
Mm-hmm. But at this point, she's really messed up, so it'd be really difficult to reason with her either way, you know? She's just really unpredictable.
You ordered this? Why? There are people down there who seem hell-bent on destroying us.
what were you doing? I told you I knew someone.
Well, you didn't say they were from the Undercity. What difference does that make? They're dangerous. I'm from the Undercity.
Yeah, didn't you just go on a huge rant about wanting to help people?
Yeah, like...
Oh boy.
That's like a big jump from what he was just saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like, we wanted to help people, make things better. They're savages down there.
If we stand together, we aren't due for an assembly.
The council of evil people.
Ever since it's done, where I see it, we should cut a deal and give back the gemstone. Better to have some trade than not at all.
The border issue is temporary. Jinx will deal with it.
What's that?
Oh, you don't recognize it. Have you forgotten where we came from? The mines there, have you seen? They're so thick it clogged your throat, stuck in your eyes. But I pulled you all up from the depths, offered you a taste of topside and fresh air. I gave you life, purpose. But you've grown fat and complacent. Too much time in the sun. We came from a world where there was never enough to go round. That is why we fight. Do you remember? Don't forget again. Good meeting.
Oh, wow. Just like totally killed the flower in the back. That was crazy.
That was cold as fuck.
Yeah.
How he just did not even need it.
Yeah. Just an absolute badass.
It shows just how, like, exactly like how he hasn't forgotten the where they came from. That's pretty sick.
That was actually a really good scene. That was really cool.
This threat from the Undercity is drawing attention.
What have you done with Vi? It's me you want.
My hero.
But I thought they were hurting you.
Vi tells me I can trust you. You get a pass back topside, that's it.
Whoa.
Let me help you.
Where have you been, Jynx?
Oh, you know, chasing down dead ends. And guess what? They're not all dead.
I can explain.
Oh.
Moves and hurt you.
Marcus never told me she was in Stillwater.
Ah.
But you found out she came back.
She and the Enforcer are back for the crystal, not for you. Have you forgotten how she left you? Who found you? Who cared for you? Gave you a home? I am your family. Everyone else betrays us. I need you. You have to complete the weapon.
The weapon.
Spooky.
Complete the weapon.
Rebel and Ash. Your people hunt us like animals. Silco pays them to do it.
That's not possible. You're wrong.
Say that one.
Since when have you known anything? Like, he's
I
so
feel like
confident.
This has been established.
It's like everything that happens is complete news to you. You think you know everything.
With this, someone with the right knowledge could build any Hextech device.
Hmm.
If enforcers are becoming more aggressive, that's why.
We could beat Silco with this.
That won't solve things.
Easy for you to say. Your people aren't dying all around you.
EKKO, it's wrong what's been done to you. You'd be well within your rights to keep him. I couldn't blame you, but if you do, this cycle of violence will never stop.
Okay. Like, why?
This is our best shot at setting the record straight. This city needs healing.
Don't.
No.
So, like, who?
Please, let me help you.
Oh, I thought she was gonna be like, please let me take it back to Jace.
I have a friend on the council. Let me take the gemstone to him.
Well, he's gone through some serious character development in the last 48 hours.
One condition. I'm the one who gives it to them.
You think they could track Hextech? It's a leap.
It's been suggested that they may have found a way to utilize the gemstone. If we are to assume the worst, that would mean they've turned it into a weapon.
Well, do we know?
It's been suggested?
We can't afford to wait to find out.
Who suggested to her that Jynx was making any headway?
They probably just assumed that someone stole it to make a
It
weapon.
would shatter any attempt at peace.
The peace is already broken, Jace. I'm only asking you to prepare to defend your people. If we're lucky, we'll never need to use it. The decision is yours.
I don't like where this is going. The decision is yours, but let me bias you in every way I can towards one one choice.
Consider this. We're scientists, not soldiers. We have the knowledge to defend ourselves. We agreed Hextech was to improve lives, not to take them. We may not have a choice.
Oh no. Lucky.
There is always a choice. I need to think.
Jace is becoming so frustrating to watch.
Yeah.
It's just as he just makes like every
Heimerdinger. That does that cloak isn't fooling anyone, my tiny friend. He's going to his buddy, his old cohort. my question.
Carbon firelights. Never seen so many though.
Boy. Oh god. Oh, I thought she was walking in to the other.
Doing drugs. Oh god. I think he really just became Victor Frankenstein. Look familiar?
Why?
I can't leave her again.
You can't change her.
I have to try.
Don't get yourself killed.
No promises. It's been real, Cupcake. Thanks for everything.
Shut up. It's just a goodbye hug. She wouldn't do that. Not again.
I really hope EKKO has like some contingency plans here.
Yeah, I'm kind of scared for him.
What the hell is this?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Sir, Silco's behind everything.
As if he didn't know that Silco was behind everything.
Show me.
No. Don't show him the fucking thing, man.
Oh. Oh no.
Oh, Jesus Christ. He's worried about his daughter. He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a fuck.
Liar.
What? Because EKKO got shot and she's going to help him? Whoa. God, she's crazy,
are
man.
those?
Firelights.
I know,
said.
but like,
I have no idea. Does he control them or something? Or is it because he has the
Are they-
gem? Or are they artificial? Or are they jinxes?
oh.
They're jinxes. She had them on
and
her
she
desk.
made them attracted to something.
I think she's
Oh
just.
my God.
They look like the firelights, but they're not. That's the thing. They end up being bombs. That looks so fucking sick. Everyone's like, oh, look at the cool bugs. Those are like really lucky little things that I see all the time. And then they turn out to be weapons. Thank fuck for that. Oh, his arm's gone.
Tell my daughter.
Oh shit.
She looks so freaky.
Oh god. Badass.
Oh.
Did he catch one? It looked like. Oh. Ooh. Nice.
Holy.
He's so fucking cool.
He's so cool.
Oh no. Man.
Oh, look who it is. The boy savior.
The boy who lived, come to die. What are you gonna do? Hypnotize me? No one man should have all that power.
Whoa.
Nice. You gonna hesitate now? Does Powder have like anti-explosion magic or something? Oh, apparently not. Well,
That was a crazy episode. I really liked the like art style and the stylistic approach that they took there at the beginning and in this scene especially.
I didn't like it at the beginning. I liked it at the end. How they connected it
Yeah.
and made it like a thing.
Like that's what I said. Like
I didn't like the weird like I don't know like
random
MLG 2006 intro that they had like with all the spray paint and like I don't know. It just seemed a little bit too. It seemed kind of like the Imagine Dragons cameo, like that kind of energy, like it's just supposed to be this really cool sort of out of universe thing in a way, or like between in and out of universe, just to like introduce this like cool faction or something. I thought that was kind of cheesy, but I really liked that they used that same energy.
That's what I was saying. Like I like that I agree that like in the beginning scene, I didn't really care one way or another about it. But I did like that it kind of tied into this end thing.
Yeah.
But it was a completely different vibe. And I loved them, like, as kids and, like, this, like, weird, like, stuff in the background. Like, it was really well done and really cool. And I love how we, like, see it play out through that. And then we actually see it, like, in, like, real time.
Yeah, we see he, like, dodges the
Yeah.
bullets and then gets hit in the chest once before he can get to her. And then, you know, it's like he remembered that, kind of learned from it. And then they had this sort of reunion.
Yeah. And then he hesitates, but she doesn't hesitate, really.
Yeah, she blows herself up, but she's all messed up, but she looks alive and fine. I mean, she'll probably be messed up in some way, but, like, you know, she didn't lose any limbs, but I think... And we didn't see what happened to EKKO. Does that mean he's, like, literally blown to smithereens and is just gone? Or did he, like, roll off the side or something? Or
And they showed his pocket watch thing all, like, broken.
Yeah.
Which is obviously not a good sign. But, like, she doesn't look too... Like, obviously she looks hurt.
She looks dirty.
But she didn't get torn limb from limb, so I would expect similar... maybe slightly worse results from him, unless he, just got hit in a certain way.
Yeah.
That was kind of just unlucky.
Yeah.
That was such a stressful episode, I feel like. Like, the whole time I was just so stressed out, because Jace is just, like, making terrible decisions, getting so easily... It's like any piece of information that comes his way, he just immediately...
pounces
like
on.
it's like someone like dangles something to the side and he's like, oh, what's that, completely forgetting about everything else. And it makes, and I guess what I like about it is that it really makes sense with like the journey of his character, how he like keeps getting given more and more power when he's just not qualified to be a counselor. So he gets put on the council by someone who like knows how to influence him, and then he immediately makes wrong decisions, and then because he makes the wrong decisions, he is then put in the position of like, oh well, you saw how violent they were.
Yeah.
You know, they're gonna attack us, and it's like, but if he didn't like it's like dominoes almost at this point. It's like if he didn't if he had more experience, he wouldn't have put the blockade in.
Yeah.
But because he put the blockade in, and because he had to go down there, then he like became way more scared of everyone on the other side.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh well, maybe we do need this weapon, because if he didn't do that and he just kept viewing them as people that he wanted to help, then he'd be like, no, I don't want to build a weapon. I'm going to stick to what I want to do, and what I want to do is help those people, not attack them. But it's like this whole series of events that just all stacks on top of each other and just completely distracts him from his original goal. And it turns into exactly what we were talking about, how when they were first like creating that like that glove thing, and they're like, this can be used for mining. It's so good. This can be used for mining, or like this can be used for that. And it's like, wow, I feel like I feel like in that moment it showed the type of people that him and Victor were. Of most, or a lot of people that had that kind of technology would look at it and immediately think of a way to use it as a weapon because of how powerful it is and because of the scale of it. And they even made things that were literally weapons, but in their minds it was like, oh, this is like a laser to do this, or not to a laser to murder thousands of people with a laser, but to, you know, for you know, uses like medical or practical or things that would help people. But then he and like that like it didn't even cross his mind to make it into a weapon. And then as soon as it's like, oh well, you know, they could be making a weapon, then it's like, okay, well now we have to make a weapon, you know.
Yeah.
It's just so, it's so stressful. And then how he, you know, goes back and forth with Victor, and then Victor has the thing of like, you know, he is obviously conflicted on whether or not he's going to take the shimmer and go forward with that, but then Jace just disappoints him time and time again, to the point that he just has to move forward in his own way.
There's no deliberation. He doesn't have anybody to bounce any ideas off of, because Jace is going in a completely different direction, so he can't, like, you know, weigh pros and cons or come up with a solution together or figure something out.
Or just believe that Jace would, like,
support him
or even if he died, that Jace would be moving forward in the direction that he envisioned.
Yeah.
Because at this point, that's kind of off the table, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that little, like, leg brace, and, like, how he carved all the runes
into his leg and into the brace as well. I wonder what's going to happen to him after this. Is he going to be, like, super Victor? Like, is he going to be
Is it going to change? Is he going to be, like, possessed by that in a way? Or is it still going to be him?
Or it might fix him, and then he might just be continuously dependent on the shimmer to, like, persist in order to survive. Because the gem, like, it rots you away, basically. And the shimmer is like a steroid medicine that like keeps you alive. So if he uses one, he's gonna have to go hardcore into the shimmer, whether he likes it or not. But otherwise, he's gonna die. So you know what's the use in fretting about the details? Unless
it has completely altered his DNA because he put something in his body that alters his physical state, and then like interacted with this thing that completely like rewires you and like changes your composition. So I'm wondering if it's like he won't be dependent on the shimmer because it has like it was like fusing into his blood cells, like it was like was mutating him and becoming part of him permanently.
Yeah.
But what does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
I wonder I wonder what it'll look like, whether it'll look like Vander, but you know, more aware, like kind of like a Hulk or like a Hulk in Avengers Endgame, or like Beast in X-Men, where they're just, you know, they start out this like really scientific mind, and then using all this stuff to like fix themselves or to alter themselves, actually kind of mutated themselves, and then but they still have like this intellect about them, or maybe he'll just be fully changed. Or, you know, and Heimerdinger is going across the river, looking like the ferryman from Paradise Lost, like this little furry ferryman, probably going to his old cohort, his old, I don't know if it's a student or his colleague or
the guy that he works with,
someone that he knew. They were hyping up in a previous episode that statue of like an ancient guy, but I don't think that's him. I think that this is just somebody else. Maybe they're both students of that guy.
It's also interesting that he's like taking a kind of a mechanical boat across, just similar to how like mini version of that kind of led Victor to that guy in the first place.
Oh yeah.
Originally, I just kind of noticed that, thought that it was cool, because the show so far is really good at like visually like reincorporating things.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, it's like that is a huge strength of the show so far. It's just like little, you know, I don't know, just little things that just kind of take it to the next level, I guess.
Yeah.
And then Jynx. Just once again getting the complete wrong, like.
Well, she's insane.
Yeah.
You know.
It's just.
I kind of caught myself while I was being like, so what? So they're hugging? So you think that it's? And it's just like, oh right, she's fucking crazy. That's like her whole thing, is that she's completely irrational, 100% of the time. Like she is, you know, she's maybe 9% rational thinking, you know, and actually, you know, she's fucking crazy. That's the entire point. So, you know, it makes sense that she's acting like a crazy person.
It's just so hard.
I really like this whole sequence at the end on the bridge, because it felt very inevitable, and it felt like there was a lack of dialogue. Like it was very the dialogue and all the music and everything was really stripped down to exactly what it needed until the sort of artistic sequence with all the with I don't know, the change in style. I like this whole walk, the visuals and everything was so subdued, and it was really effective, and cut everything, all the talking, all the music, and all the sound design, everything down to exactly what was necessary for the scene, and it created really good tension. And I thought that it was really good, and it gave enough time to the whole situation to where each thing that happened just it followed naturally. Everything kind of followed naturally, and again, because there wasn't characters like screaming about what they believe or what they feel or what they want or random bullshit, the characters actually were able to come through rather than you know, over explaining I don't know, because I feel like that's a big tendency to have a kind of a similar speech to what Caitlin was giving in the previous scene about like, oh, the cycle of violence will never end if, you know, blah blah blah. And it's yeah. So I'm glad they had that before, but they didn't dive into that whole, you know, overexposing that theme or that idea when in the middle of the action, just letting the action and the characters' action speak for themselves in those moments. Yeah, the whole Caitlin talking about the cycle of violence and shit, and it's like Echo's just like, that's really easy for you to say, and then she's just like, what? Like, Caitlin is so frustrating because she's very good-hearted, but she's extremely naive, and she's consistently naive about everything.
To a dangerous level.
To an insane level. It's like every time she has learned anything in the show, from the time she was a child in that like competition with the captain lady, to now, to everything that's happened, she's constantly like surprised that like
that things are worse than she thinks.
But she's not only surprised like, oh my god, I didn't even know it was like this. She's like, what? That's ridiculous. How could how could it be like that? And then it's like, cause I lived it. Cause what? How could you not look for your sister? Cause I was in prison for 6 years. I don't know what you want from me. How could you not know if she's alive or dead? Like, it's like, what are you talking about? And it's just, and then the whole cycle of violence thing, it's like, I'm surprised EKKO didn't get even more pissed off when she said that, but he was just like, I mean, but it's the tragedy of the whole show at the end of the day when she mentions that, because that's kind of, it's mirrored with what's going on with Jace on the other side of it, because they're talking about like a mutually assured destruction is basically what's going on. They're like, oh, we're gonna develop nukes.
Oh, well, they stole our nuke.
They stole our plutonium. Now they can develop the nukes, and we can't have our nukes. What are we gonna do? Well, we need to come up with a backup nuke. So now we're both gonna develop nukes.
We're never gonna use it, but.
And then Victor's he's like, oh, we're never gonna use it. But then Victor's like, I didn't want it. Why are we doing this? And then on the other side, Caitlyn's like, you know, why do you want to make a nuke? You know, like let's meet in the middle. So then Victor's trying to like tamp things down, like chill things out, and then Caitlyn's over there trying to chill things out, and Caitlyn succeeds. Victor is just, I feel like he's kind of given up on Jace completely. So like, there's no conversation we had. So Jace is just kind of doing whatever he's gonna do or whatever Medarda wants him to do. You know, and I just love how he's naive too, but he's more just dumb because he just
Jace?
Yeah.
Well, like I said before, it's
he
like
just
he's
gets
out
manipulated.
of his depth.
He's out of his depth.
I think there are a lot of similarities between him and Caitlyn, but obviously Caitlyn is like, she kind of got demoted. She doesn't have any, like, she wants more authority, but she is uneducated, but she doesn't truly have any power.
They're kind of the same. She's not playing the game while he's playing the game. Like, he chooses to go into the system to try and fix it, and then she is like, oh, well, fuck it, I'm getting demoted, I don't care.
I'm gonna go and do my own
I'm gonna
thing.
go in the field, you know, and do what needs to be
it's
done.
It's like, they kind of diverge there, and he changes completely. It's like Caitlyn, I think like that's the thing where she she has her values, and like she desperately believes in a better world and really, really wants things to be better, and is trying to do it in like the best way that she knows how. But she just doesn't have any experiences, as like all of the other characters pretty much have way more just like experience with the world in general than her. So it's really hard for her. She's open to it, but it's really difficult for her to wrap her mind around, because she grew up of like, oh, I want to do this, so I will work hard and I will achieve that. And like, people are trying to, you know, stop me, but I can, you know, if I do the right thing, then like it will be good.
Well, because as we saw in the flashback with I keep forgetting her name, the captain.
I know, I feel bad because she was a great character.
She was awesome, but because she let her win to you know, at the end of the day. So there's multiple things like that. Like, she comes from a wealthy family, so she's very privileged, and that's kind of the whole point. And even as a cadet, to be like, she's obviously also very skilled. But she wasn't the most skilled, but she won first prize. Like that kind of feeds into the whole thing with her. So she just has never been she's never been exposed to anything like this, but she still obviously wants to change things for the better, clearly.
And EKKO like decides to instead of fighting against her and be like, no, he wants a chance. This is like his opportunity to get a hold of someone that's on the council and like maybe make change that way, but obviously it all goes to shit.
Yeah.
But
because now Marcus is dead, a bunch of other enforcers are dead, and I guess Jinx is dead there, but like nobody's gonna believe fucking Vi, and who's a prisoner who's just released, and Caitlyn, who is, you know, who's been.
And Caitlyn, I feel like Caitlyn is gonna.
Unless they can get to Jace, but even if they
even if they get to Jace at this point, I think Jace will be like,
is too cagey.
Why did you release this prisoner? Oh, like
on my authority, you forged my signature and you released this person, like, and you stole the fucking
totally
gem.
Like, I can't trust you anymore.
Because he's under all this other pressure, so he's gonna take it the wrong way, and then, you know, double down on his shit.
Yeah, she thinks like, oh, this guy, he like, you know, has kind of been a mentor to me and has like urged me not to do crazy bullshit like this, but you know, he'll understand and he will help me do the right thing. But
he's been subjected to some serious pressure.
He's not in the position to
negotiate,
to help with this at all. And at this
Or to
point,
be
and
negotiated
honestly, I'm almost even worried that they're gonna run into someone else, like Medarda, get the gem confiscated so that Jace still believes that people out there have it and are making a weapon, so that he will follow through in creating the weapon. Because if they get that back, then and he knows that they have it back, then he could be like, oh, well, there's no reason to create this caliber of a weapon if they don't have that technology. It's like the whole thing. It's like, we don't need a nuke if no one else has a nuke and our weapons are still better in the first place. And have never been a problem before. So I'm kind of worried about something like that happening.
Well, Victor is possibly going to be addicted to the shimmer, perhaps. We don't know how it's going to affect him. But we do know that he kind of made a deal with the devil. Like he went into the dark cave, deep beneath, like past his own ambitions, like how he let the boat go when he was a kid, but he couldn't follow it, so he went into the cave. He literally made a deal with the devil, essentially, and now it's depending on how that works out. If he can master Hextech, even if it's imperfect, like not the stabilized crystal, because they don't have that, but the imperfect crystals, if he can like use the runes and can manipulate it like anyone else, like without anyone else, if he's not on Jace's side because Jace is going off his own direction and he's addicted possibly or reliant in some way on the shimmer in order to keep himself alive,
or reliant just on using like magic, essentially,
I think it's going to be a combination, because the whole point is that he can't do it alone. Like, he can't do it with just the magic. He's tried and he's tried and he's tried. He needs the shimmer. He needed to do it. Either he needed to just do it once and he's going to be going rogue because maybe he'll go fucking crazy. But my point is that he's probably not. He's been drifting away from Jace, and I don't think that that's going to reverse anytime soon. So if he becomes reliant on the shimmer in some way, he'll have to. Maybe that will be Silco's is that he is partnered up with this dude who has control over Victor essentially, and now you have a leg up in that way.
Maybe he'll steal the thing and bring it back to the guy in the cave with the axolotl. He might just steal the.
That's what I'm saying.
And then Silco will just have it again.
Yeah, because he's in control of all that shit. So, with Silco, that was fucking badass when Silco did that shit to those losers, just to completely dunk on them.
Just like drug lords, basically. Like they just.
I mean, they're like lords of their own little gangs and factions and stuff like that. But they are drug lords. They're all talking about the export, and that's funny how they're just like, oh, but they're so concerned. It's a mirror, exactly like you said. The council, they're like the council of shitheads or whatever. They're like the Undercity version of the council, and they're like the council. They're more concerned with the shipping lanes and the what they have and what they, just the day-to-day, week-to-week of Hextech, with all the transportation, all of the commerce that's been coming because of that. Except instead of Hextech, they're concerned about the shimmer export, obviously, because they get money from that. So that's all they care about. They don't, but all of that for Silco, this is kind of a reaffirmation to us as the audience, and for Silco's character, that he is not just a drug lord. He's not him doing all this shit to all these people and releasing shimmer and profiting off of it was not a short-term goal or a long-term goal. It was a short-term means to an end so that he could fund his operations and move things forward. He still has greater ambitions, and he hasn't forgotten that, and that's for us to know that he hasn't forgotten that, and he still is doing other stuff. He's not just scrambling around looking after Powder and picking up after her mess. He has some shit that he needs to do himself, and that he has ambitions and things outside of her that he wants to accomplish, and it's not just about being a drug lord, unlike these guys. So we get an example of what you could be forgiven to have mistaken that Silco was like these guys. So we create a version of what the audience may have considered Silco to be, of just a shitty guy who had other ambitions or had other things, but is now just a drug lord who is kind of second to somebody else. And no, that's these people. Silco is actually not like them, as a matter of fact. And here's proof in this scene. And I love how he can still breathe the fucking poison air.
Yeah.
And just talk calmly, and it's not a problem because he has not forgotten. He's still living with that pain. And stuff like that. It's so sick.
And I loved that scene where he was getting ready to put the inject the stuff in his eyes, and he can't do it. He's struggling to do it by himself, and he looks over at where Jinx is, and then he's kind of like, you know, getting ready for it, and then she just shows up. That's so freaky. She's like poking him in the face.
Mm-hmm.
This was a big episode.
Banger.
Yeah.
Banger.
I loved that place where EKKO has his whole operations there.
Yeah, with the
It's
tree
super
and
cool
with the
looking.
whole mural of everybody.
Yeah, that mural was really cool.
That was sweet. That was really cool. I like that whole mural of all the people they lost and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Sick. Is that a real tree? Is that so insane that they don't have any trees because it's so toxic?
Yeah. Yeah.
W episode. We'll see what tragedy befalls us next time on Boldcast. Leave a like and subscribe. See you next time, Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
Bye-bye.